Oh, Frogman.
Oh, Frogman.
Oh, jeez, Frogman. I see you stomping around by the river with your web feet, Frogman.
Sounds like Buffalo Bill.
Is that a wand in your hand, or are you just happy to see me, Frogman?
You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome back to Cultober, everyone. Last week you heard us talk about aliens and outer space. Today is a little more down to earth, but only a little. We are exploring the world of cryptozoology today, and if you don't know what that means, basically it means monsters. We get to hear about abnormally sized snakes, half-man, half-goat hybrids, tiny weird frog freaks, and Ohio's own Grassman. And where are we recording? No fucking clue. Last thing I remember is smelling household chemicals, and then I woke up in the woods. Someone help me. No. Sorry. We are at Salt Fork State Park at a campground called Bigfoot Ridge. We are sitting around the fire in Bigfoot's backyard. Fellas, let's get weird. Welcome to Cult Talks Weird Shit. Welcome back to Cultober specifically. We're doing a new episode of Weird Shit every Wednesday. Last week you heard It Came From Outer Space. Next week we're talking about horror movies that fooled the world. That'll be fun. And then you're going to hear our Halloween Haunts episode, which has a nice awkward bit where I'm like, are we talking about the Loveland Frog? Because we already recorded that one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Is that coming out?
There's a whole bit. Yeah. So anyway, besides the stories that you guys are presenting today, because remember, we're doing 4 stories.
First of all, let them know who's here.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ben,
Huh?
have you heard of anything that you're not presenting today?
Actually, I'm pretty sure I've heard of all of this, but cryptids are really my jam. I've been I've been into cryptids since I saw like Tremors or whatever. Like some movie, I'm sure sparked it, but it's always been part of my life.
Right. What about you, Eric?
So, I'm kind of the opposite of Ben. I'm not much of a cryptids person, so I don't know much about them. I may or may not have heard of, like, the Frogman before, but that's more or less it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Michael?
I've surrounded myself with cryptid people, so I hear them talk about it a lot, and so I at least know a little bit of the major ones. If you start getting very specific to, like when I moved down to Florida for some years, I didn't know about the swamp ape.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
Swamp Ape. That's a famous one.
But I remember the message Tyler. I was like, so what's the local cryptid around here? He's like, swamp ape. He had instantly just
Right.
So if I ever need a cryptid answer, like what's in this area, I just reach out to him. He'll let me know.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Tyler does love his cryptids. He has little cryptid figurines and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Since we are going to do 4 stories today, without further ado, we're just going to jump right in. First, we're going to hear from me, and I'm going to talk about the Grassman. Ohio Grassman. Kicking things off with the story of Ohio's Sasquatch, affectionately called the Grassman. But this particular woodland ape is said to be more aggressive than some of his cousins. Like I said in the intro, we are at Salt Fork State Park.
As you can hear in the background.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep, we are actually on location. We could have just done this with ambience, but we kind of wanted to go camping. And
you know what? It turned into a goddamn gorgeous night. It was hot today, but
It was pretty hot.
It was hot, but this is a beautiful night.
Yeah,
so.
this is
I
going to be a great
absolutely
night.
love warm nights after a hot day. They're so nice.
Yeah.
So this
was
was definitely a good
I get to
night,
keep my flannel on now.
Listen,
Yeah, Michael's in a flannel.
I'm like a man.
He went out into the woods to collect wood.
Very similar to one, yes.
I'm very similar to
a man.
you
Okay.
even went out and collected wood today.
Look at me go.
You did.
All right, so let's
Listen,
refocus.
I promise not all of us are this pansy.
So anyway, the reason we came up here is because Salt Fork State Park is an Ohio state park. If you didn't hear one of our recent episodes, Strange Ohio, that's where we're from. So it was a relatively short drive away, and it has it's well known nationwide as being like a hot spot for Bigfoot sightings. So if you know Bigfoot, Salt Fork State Park should be on your short list to come visit. The campground we are staying at is literally called Bigfoot Ridge.
That's right.
Because a lot of the sightings have happened in this area of the park that we're sitting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the creature that we may encounter tonight.
Yeah, because we are going. We do plan to go on for a little hike after.
We are. After this, we're going to go on a
yeah.
night hike, and hopefully we'll all come back.
Yeah, because it's like 8:30 at night right now. We're
Right,
recording
right.
this, so.
Yeah.
All right, so the Ohio Grassman, he ranges in height from 5 to 10 feet tall, generally in the 6 to 7 foot range, according to sightings. He leaves massive footprints, 10 to 20 inches long. Some people say he's pigeon-toed or has flat feet. I don't even know how the fuck it doesn't matter. Let's see. Some people
that's a very Ohio thing, right? We're like,
Right.
hey, listen, not only is this thing a freaky monster, but we're so pedantic about it. We're like, he's pigeon-toed. Fuck him.
Right. Some people estimate it weighs between 300 to 1,000 pounds, which is a
That's a
massive
pretty
difference.
Well, what was the height again? The range?
Let's
'Cause
see.
that sounded like a
5 to 10 feet.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a wide range of this animal too.
Yeah,
so
it
he's,
really is.
he's apparently a meaty boy.
Okay, so are we sure that this is not just a hairy Ohioan? Because we're kind of like that. We come from
I mean-
5 foot to 7 foot, and
Yeah.
then we go from like
Well, let's hear more of the
150
sizes and
to
they're
300
hairy.
pounds.
Let's let's hear more of the description, and then we'll be able to determine if it's a local or a local creature. Sound. Some reports say it growls and barks. Others say it has the cry of a baby or scream of a woman. Kind of sounds
Ohio.
like maybe just a crying baby or a woman.
It's Ohioan so far. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yep.
This isn't going to help. Odor has a strong odor,
Are we sure he's not just from Cleveland?
like the odor, like the odor of rot that lingers in the area even days after it is vacated.
Oh, there you go.
Cleveland.
Keep it to episode 5, Ben. So its appearance, it is said to have a snub nose, deep set eyes. It's very chesty. Apparently, these things have nice big titties, so that's fun. It's blackish brown in color, long arms, pointed and bulky head. It's Bigfoot. If you've seen, it's Bigfoot.
But it's
Bigfoot.
Grassman.
Yeah,
But it's Grassman.
it's the Grassman.
So
specifically.
okay, so I kind of what is our difference between Bigfoot and Grassman? I guess just the location.
So, I've heard it described as being smaller than like a Pacific Northwest Bigfoot, but like this sounds like it's just as fucking big as those bastards. Like,
Well, between 5 to 10 feet.
Yeah,
You know?
right,
could
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
like Yetis from the Himalayas are usually described as being bigger, but like Grassman sounds like he's still a big meaty boy.
Yeah, I've always heard him described as shorter.
Yeah. Not according to this one website I yanked this information off of. So
All right, go
let's
on.
see. He is reported to be very aggressive. Now that is something that is consistent with Grassman. That's not necessarily consistent with other Bigfoot reports.
Yeah, because Bigfoot's kind of elusive, right?
Yeah. A lot of people have described Bigfoot in other areas as being shy. Like, it's not to say he's not aggressive anywhere else if he exists,
Sure.
but like for every report of him trying to peg people with a rock, there's a bunch of reports of him also just like, running away and being shy or whatever, or just being curious. But the Grassman is usually reported as being pretty aggressive. Supposedly, there were reports of Grassman in Native American writings. I didn't search too hard, but I wasn't able to confirm that with a terribly reliable source. But, we're talking about Bigfoot, so this is all
Yeah, I
grain of
was gonna
salt
say-
kind of shit.
Yeah, there's always like the forest people and things in there.
Right.
Legends that tend to
That's
be
true.
Yeah.
associated with that sort of
And
thing.
they're
So I'm
very
sure,
often
I'm
hairy.
sure it's out there.
Yeah.
Right, because that's where the term Sasquatch comes
Yep,
from.
that's
it was
their
based
name.
on like a Native American.
It's one of the
Yeah.
native names for them.
Yeah.
The
So I
name.
wouldn't be surprised. I just wasn't able to verify it.
Right.
It says about its motion that it walks around and can throw large rocks, so that's useless.
I'm still fairly certain it's Ohioan. That's just a
Yeah,
very hairy
yeah,
Ohioan,
yeah. I'm
between
not
5 to
convinced.
10 feet tall.
Right, I'm not convinced it's not. There are reports that it has killed dogs and deer.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing is they are sometimes reported to be in groups. A lot of Bigfoots are reported to be solitary or no more than a pair. So that is interesting that the Grassman is
okay.
reported showing up in
That's a
groups.
scary. That's a
So
scary. thought.
okay, so
Yeah.
what would be the? Okay, I'm trying to search it out in my head. What would be the term? It wouldn't be.
For multiple Sasquatches.
Well, not even that. It's if you're ist against another state, like racist, sexist. What would it be?
Statist?
Statist? Maybe
No,
it's
because
you don't think
that
of some
means
just
that-
like
that means
Michigan
something
statist against Ohio,
Honestly,
just describing an Ohioan
I
as a
wonder-
Grassman?
I wonder if xenophobic would fall under that if you're from a different state. You know what I mean?
Xenophobic is probably the right term.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's go ahead and talk sightings. There were a bunch of them, and most of them weren't that detailed, so I'm just going to focus on 2. The initial sighting, what's usually determined to be, or decided to be the initial sighting, and then a recent one. So let's see. The first prominent sighting of Grassman was in Minerva. I didn't look up how far that is away from here. August 1978, the grandchildren of Evelyn and Hal Clayton, along with some friends, ran inside screaming about a hairy monster. They saw it in a gravel pit. So that's fun. They had a gravel pit. The couple went out to investigate. They saw the creature still in the gravel pit. It was covered in dark matted hair. It was sitting in the pit fiddling with discarded trash. It was estimated to be around 300 pounds. The Claytons ran away, and this would not be their last encounter with the ape.
Actually, it still fits the Ohioan bill.
Well, let's just pretend for a little bit. So the Claytons would see the Grassman many times. One night it was seen peering through their kitchen. Hal ran for his gun, but the primate was gone before he returned. They called the police. There was no sign of the creature except for some faint footprints. Let's see. Oh, and the horrible smell lingered in the air, so we're still could be in Ohio.
Is it? Did they describe the smell at all by chance, or is it just horrible smell?
It's just a horrible smell. Nobody really gave details about it. Yep. Grassman was later seen atop a hill. Later, they saw 2 of them on top of the same hill. At some point, their German Shepherd was found dead, with its neck broken, presumably killed by the hairy beast.
Wow,
that's no small feat.
Right.
It is actually surprisingly hard to break a dog's neck, isn't it? Like, surprisingly.
I wouldn't know, Michael, honestly.
I just feel like something you'd look up, Ben. I don't know. You follow serial killers. I figure you that's the thing
but
you
that's
follow.
true, but also nobody treats their dog better than I do.
That is true. That is true. She's a little spoiled princess, that's for sure.
She's not little.
She is not.
No, she is not. That is the first encounter. So the second encounter didn't have too many details. Let me just find the picture, though. So 2 men were here in the park.
This park?
At Bigfoot Ridge.
This park.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't know.
January 2020. January 12th, 2020. Yep.
That's
last year. Yep.
Last year.
A year and a half ago.
Listen, if I'd have known this shit, I might not have come.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Hey, and you know that there's a big connection between Bigfoots and UFOs, right?
Oh, fuck that.
So they put up a 10-minute video. I mean, it's a video that's like edited and stuff, not just 10 minutes straight of Bigfoot footage.
Right.
That would be kind of nuts. But they did claim to encounter Bigfoot. Here's a picture. They claim that's the Grassman here at Salt Fork.
Okay, that does look. Honestly, it looks like a faraway gorilla.
Right. So not a whole lot of
Pretty
video.
much what you would picture.
Yeah, not a whole lot of details. The video has more. Like skimming the article, it was just like watch the video, and I was like later. I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Sure. 10 minutes is
Monster Quest came here. I want to say in season 2. I watched that episode last night. That was kind of fun. They had a helicopter with a thermal camera on it. They were flying around over the trees. They thought they saw something, couldn't verify all that fun shit.
Of course.
But yeah, so
of course they did.
That's the Ohio Grassman. You guys supposedly just saw a picture of him. What do you think?
Wow.
I just think it's a dirty, smelly, hairy Ohioan. Or just how someone describes an Ohioan that's xenophobic.
Yeah, somebody from Michigan.
I mean, that picture really does look like it's got that really dark fur. Almost looks like a black bear's fur, but it resembles a gorilla that's upright.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it didn't look like a bear for sure.
Yeah,
definitely not a bear.
Ohio does have a small but slowly growing population of black bears, so they are here. So
that was definitely not a black bear.
No, that wasn't a black bear. Now that still might have been a dude in a suit.
Absolutely,
sure,
but it wasn't. It was not.
If it was a suit, it was a good suit.
Yeah,
at least.
right.
And the picture was actually surprisingly high def. So all the people who are like, "How come every single picture of Bigfoot is blurry?"
One wasn't.
This one wasn't blurry. I mean,
it wasn't blurry.
It's still off in the distance,
Yeah.
so it's not fucking great. But it wasn't blurry.
You know what I always found interesting is like, same with like the skunk ape, the shorter, and in orang pendek in Vietnam, the shorter Bigfoot or primate species seem to be aggressive. Whereas the larger, and so part of me as somebody that likes to indulge in cryptozoology has to wonder, or at least likes to think about whether or not the smaller ones are further down on the evolutionary ladder and therefore more primal, whereas the bigger northeastern ones, which are more human-like, are more capable of reason and therefore less violent.
That could be, but I would wonder if it's more of like that kind of small dog syndrome. You know, like small dogs are stereotypically
Chihuahuas
more
are super nippy because of how small they are.
But big dogs don't got to worry about it because they're like, I'm fucking huge. Like, I don't need to prove shit to you.
Maybe.
Yeah. Although,
who knows?
Right.
That's what's fun to think about.
But and I would imagine like it's easier for the small ones to hide. Like for a big one to hide, a Bigfoot, it would have to be smart. Like because it's got to think it's. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
or
as
interdimensional creatures.
Yeah, because I discussed that in the which episode? The Haunts.
Spoiler alert! That one hasn't come out yet. Yeah, you guys will hear just a bit more about interdimensional Bigfoot when you tune into the Halloween Haunts episode.
The fact that those two theories have kind of crossed streams is just...
I know that's
silly.
weird to me.
It's just
interdimensional and UFOs associated with Bigfoots that's weirder to me than
Yeah, but I mean...
Either of those things on their own,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of cryptids, we got more to get to, so I'm going to go ahead and segue us out of this. Eric, you are next up. You've got the Goatman. Goatman. Eric spins us a yarn of half-men, half-goat freaks stomping about in the shadows.
It is time to speak of the Goatman.
The
or
Goatman.
should I say
El
the Goatmen?
Oh, there's more.
El
more than
Goatman?
one.
El Goatmen.
El Gautier?
I have found for you many Gautier men. Yay.
Ben's like, stop it.
Yeah.
Gotta wanna
Stop it.
Fuck up. Just shut up.
So I got my Goatman assignment, and I kind of at first I started looking into the Goatman. I thought it was the Goatman, just one, and I quickly realized that there were more.
Well, I mean, I think with a lot of these cryptids, you do come to learn it is, like, aside from, like, maybe the Loch Ness Monster, it is multiple.
Right.
Tends
Yeah,
to
so
be.
I think there's one there that was like the first.
Right.
I can't remember.
So it seems to be the main one is in Maryland.
Maryland.
Is it? Yeah. So, but that's not where I'm going to start. I'm actually going to try to start with the buzzkill and go from there. We'll get more exciting and mysterious from there.
Okay.
So, because it just turns out that multiple places all over the United States, there are stories about goatmen. So we'll start with the Lake Worth Monster.
Dun, dun, dun.
Said to be outside of Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay. Going down south.
Yep, and as many of these goatmen will be described, he is said to be part man and part goat.
You don't say.
I know. And yet, I was surprised at
Is
how
that
often
what
that
makes a goat
distinction
man?
was made.
Is that what makes a goat
Yeah.
man? It's part goat and weird.
Man.
Now, how this goat man differs is he's also described as having scales and clawed fingers.
Oh my
What?
Jesus.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
The stories of the Lake Worth Monster began in 1969. It was reported by several local citizens. Newspapers were making, they were, reporting some stories and stuff like that. So some of the sightings of this here goat man, this particular one, included, let's see, I've got it on here somewhere. So it included, so somebody said that that the goat man jumped out of the tree and landed on their car.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you imagine? You
yes.
shed a brick castle.
See, stuff like that, I'm just kind of like, what actually happened? Because I just don't believe they made this up whole cloth. Because some of that shit is just so outrageous. I'm like, are you telling me that they're like, yeah, this is the story I'm going to go with?
That dent in my car came from a goat man. So
I mean, I guess if you're like a drunk kid coming home and you like fucked up your dad's vehicle.
and you had to come up with something?
Something, I guess.
So in the same slew, so I guess all these stories happened over the course of a summer. Somebody claimed that the goat man threw a tire at a group of people. They reported that a tire came flying. He came in and just chucked a tire at him.
Don't mind the extra sound, everyone. Aaron's just throwing some more wood on the
Ian's
fire
being a man
there.
and beefing up the fire.
And you're going to hear kind of
Yeah,
stuff
I mean,
like
you're just
that.
going here.
We're camping,
yeah,
guys.
we are
So there's
camping.
going to be
We are
shit
camping.
going on.
Yeah, we got to keep
legit
this shit
camping.
going.
We have to keep our fire going or we'll die.
It's all right. I just posted to the
Or
story
else,
that so
or
people
else
know
we'll
we're
have
actually
to
here.
offer up Eric for the UFOs.
Oh, no, not the UFOs or the Grassman, please.
Well, the Grassman UFO.
Okay, so he threw a tire?
Yeah,
He's strong as
this
fuck.
goatman. Yeah. So the goatman, all these descriptions of the goatman are he's pretty tall, part goat, part man. You know,
He's
Right,
a
right.
bad boy.
monstrous. And he's a bad boy. I love it. Yes.
I am so fucking sorry. You will never hear me do another dad joke. That was
Do one more. Do one more.
Fuck you, Michael. Excuse me.
You did it. I don't know why you're mad
I
at me.
did do it, and I'm ashamed.
Focus.
And there was there was actually a picture of this one, described by the guy that took it. I had his name written down. Where is it? Plaster? His last name was Plaster.
Interesting.
That's what I found in my notes. I wrote down his last name. Alan. I remember. It's Alan
Okay.
Plaster.
Okay,
There we
Alan
go.
Plaster.
Took a picture of this goat man, which I looked at, just looked like a white blob to me. It was very, it's back 1969. And he even described it as a man-sized white fur ball. But he actually seemed to think, so I think he's quoted as saying, whatever it was, it wanted to be seen. But he kind of took that as to mean like it was I think he thought it was a prank. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Right.
Which, actually, here's the buzzkill part.
Sure. Buzzkill.
Turns out that news station, or a Fox-owned TV station, KDFW, which is a local station for the area.
Right.
They did a report in 1999. Let's see. So they kind of did some interviews with some locals and stuff like that who had had some sightings and some people who have some things to admit. There was a man who admitted in 2009 that he and his friends were rolling a tire down the road and it hit a bump and launched into the air and landed very near a group of people. So he said, that wasn't the goat man, that was me. And then apparently a bunch of people claimed that when they were in high school, they had a gorilla suit and were going around pranking people. So
Those
that
bastards.
explains those sightings. And that's actually, that's the only goat man I looked into that has
An actual
an
explanation.
explanation.
An explanation.
Yes.
Okay.
Hence
So-
the buzzkill.
Hence the buzzkill. And that's why I wanted to start with it, because this is weird shit and we get weird. And I wanted to get weird.
Damn straight
you know.
we do.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So, I will now move us on to. Here's the problem. My notes are backwards from the order in which I want to present.
Do better
Bear with
notes.
me. I
How many
won't.
times
How
have you
does that
done
even
that?
happen?
I found that one last. But I wanted to do it first.
Fair enough.
You know what? Okay.
Don't
We
touch it.
accept this.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Okay. I'm glad it kind of makes sense to you guys.
Because God forbid you reorganize them later. You know.
Right.
Right.
There ain't nobody got
Anyway,
time for
Goat
that.
Man, go on.
So this next goat man is known as the Pope Lick Monster,
I don't like that.
also known as the Goat Man.
Pope Lick?
Pope Lick Monster. It's location name based.
Okay.
That sounds like
Yeah.
something that'll get you arrested in the
Yep.
Vatican.
Yeah.
No, they don't get arrested for that. The Pope?
They
he
just,
would never.
They just move them around someplace.
Yeah. And this one was in Louisville, or near Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Pardon me for one moment.
So if the Grassman's an Ohioan, could the Goat Man just be a Kentucky inbred?
I wonder. It could be.
Oh boy.
Are these going to be our explanations for all these things?
This
Just
might be a
people
little
of the
too
land?
early in the
Some of
podcast
the
life to
stuff Ian was
alienate this many
talking
people.
about, some of the stuff Ian was talking about kind of makes me wonder if the Goat Man and Bigfoot might not be related or the same thing.
I mean,
There's
they're probably
similar
all
stuff in there.
interdimensional creatures.
Let's hear about the Pope Lick
God.
Monster.
So, Louisville, Kentucky. Outside of it. Again, the description, part man, part goat, part sheep.
Okay.
This time, they added the sheep part. And
Half man, half sheep, half goat.
How does one define the parts that are different between the sheep and the goat? I
That's a
wonder?
fantastic question.
Right.
And
right.
people
Like I know
can't-
sheep and goats are different, but are they different
Right.
enough for you to be like
I think sheep
1/3
have curly
sheep?
horns.
One. Okay. Like
more
a ram.
They're-
Yeah, like a
Okay.
wild
Is that-
sheep.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's got ram horns.
Right. It kind of looks like that, I guess.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Okay, that
although I
makes
don't
sense.
know if that's the part of it that is the sheep.
I mean,
I'll
I don't-
allow it.
I think there's. I don't. Are there goats that have ram-styled horns?
They kinda. Yes. They don't. I don't think they
Let's not get hung up on
curl
that part.
in quite as much though.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, you're not a headliner. Move on.
Okay, fine. So, this goat man lives beneath a trestle bridge that a train goes over.
Goddamn troll.
Railroad tracks.
Gotta pay the troll toll.
And it was said to hypnotize
Oh my god.
or use voice mimicry to lure people onto the bridge to be killed by the train.
Ooh.
Yes.
Do
That
still
got
love
creepy.
things that can mimic.
Yeah. Yep. There were other stories where he jumps off of the bridge onto cars driving below. So this is another goat man that jumps on top of cars.
Okay.
Take note of that. Some of these have patterns.
Goats do like to jump onto shit.
Yeah, there you go.
They really do.
That's what Whitney said. Yeah, she's like, really? There was another story that say he wields a bloody axe.
Of course.
Yep.
Why?
And
Why would he?
The sight of him was enough to drive people to leap off the bridge.
I mean, that's probably true.
Clean your axe off. God.
Yep. But again, take note of the axe. There's and some of his. We'll go into this one. Has a bit of an origin story, perhaps. Some origin theories.
Okay.
Legend has it that he used to be a human-goat hybrid that was a circus freak. And he was being mistreated and, was out for revenge and just hated people. And he escaped when a train derailed on that bridge.
Oh, Lord.
Alternatively, he was a farmer that was reincarnated after sacrificing goats to gain satanic powers.
That's my favorite. I like that one.
I mean,
To this day, people often mistake the bridge as being abandoned, but it's actually pretty heavily used. So, there are still deaths related to this bridge as late as 2019.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Despite there being a fence and the threat of arrest.
Right.
So this could be less of a cryptid story and more of a
Yeah.
paranormal.
Oh, yeah. It could very well be.
maybe.
Yeah, with
more
the
of a
voices and
demonic
the
thing
yeah.
going on.
I have a little bit of trivia for you guys. There was a movie made about this monster, the Salt Lake Monster. It was made in 1988.
Ooh, I bet that's a classic.
16 minutes long on a $6,000 budget.
Oh.
Made by a man named Ron. Dear God, I need to read these names before I I even wrote it.
you really struggle with these. Like
Shield Connect
Shield.
is the SCHILD KNECHT.
You figure it out, audience.
I don't
was
even
his
think
name?
you
I'll let you
spelled
do
that
his first
properly.
name.
Ron.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
he's
Ron.
sitting there reading it, and he's unsure of how it's spelled. Even like
I know.
it's
We're just-
spelled this letter. I think I
I'm
don't
just
know.
going to call him Ron.
Let's
We'll
call
call him Ron.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron
No,
Burgundy.
no, you shut up. You don't bring that fucker in there.
And so the company that owns this rail system, the Norfolk Southern Railway, was actually pretty upset about the film, and so they because they were afraid that it would draw more people to the bridge to trespass.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of
So at
course
the-
it would.
Yeah. So at the premiere,
I
they
kind of want to go there. That's what
right?
you're
Don't
talking
you
about
wanna
it.
go now?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. But they actually at the premiere said they basically had something read.
A
before the
public
movie
service
played.
announcement.
Basically, yeah, to discourage
Hey,
people from
don't
going.
go
They're
to the
like, nope, well,
bridge.
you'll get arrested, and it's dangerous.
That's just for their own legal
Yeah,
sake.
right.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
I'm going to tell you about this cool thing, but don't go to the cool
But
thing.
don't go to the cool thing. So that's the story of the Salt Lake Monster.
You going more backwards in your
Going
notes now?
backwards in my notes now. We're going back.
Pope Lick.
Poplick.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
yes, Poplick.
Public?
Poplick. Poplick.
Don't pope lick in public.
Why did I call it Salt
no
Lake?
more
'Cause that's
no
where
more
Rick-
cocaine
Ripped a
before
huge line. No.
no more cocaine.
It's not that
before
kind of
the-
camping trip.
Not yet.
And then we get to the final goat man. This one was the first one I found and my favorite.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So his location is Prince George's County in Maryland.
Yeah, this is the one
I've
that I
heard of
think I'm
this.
familiar
Yeah.
with.
Yes, this
Yeah.
seems to be the more well-known one. He's
I
near
don't
Bowie.
remember any details.
So I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know
that-
any of the stories of
that
Goatman. I just know of his
makes sense to me.
existence.
Right.
So
He's near Bowie, Maryland, which
Okay.
bit of trivia. One of the members of NSYNC was born there.
which one?
There you go.
Cool.
So
JC
he is the goat
Chazes.
man.
There we go. Yeah. Ooh, good theory. Ba, ba, ba.
Moving on. Moving on.
So, of
My
course, he
heart.
looks like a satyr or a fawn or otherwise a part man, part goat.
Of course.
Early 1970s. So I thought that was interesting. His sightings began around the same time that the other one did. Of course, the other one turned out to be
A
a
buzzkill.
hoax. Yeah.
Right, right.
But that's when the story started after the disappearance of / deaths of multiple dogs. Although some people did speculate that it was likely due to passing trains.
We're dealing with a lot of dead dogs
Because
in
of
this
the
episode.
state
I don't
of-
like it.
Well, that's kind of why I thought it was weird, kind of weird correlations between your Grassman and these goatmen.
Right.
But, they think that the state of the corpses of the dogs are like, that was probably a train. Which to me, it's like, well...
What if it was dead on the tracks and got hit?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
so, I don't know.
creepy.
Police were receiving a bunch of calls claiming sightings. Some of them were pranks. Like the town, a lot of the locals really grabbed onto
People
it.
don't prank call the police.
Never.
I don't know what you're talking
Never.
about.
Yeah.
There was graffiti that was going around. Goatman was here. Let's see.
I love your scatter of notes right now.
Don't make fun of my notes. This is how I make it through all my podcasts with you. He's rumored to reside in a makeshift shelter in the northwest area of the county near Bowie, which is forested. He's said to, of course, kill dogs or attack cars with an axe.
Jesus.
Yes, so the axe and the car attacking
And the car
came up
thing,
again.
Yeah.
And the association with railroads also on top of that, / bridges. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I thought those were interesting patterns. And I'll go into his origin stories because those to me are the weirdest, and that's about it for my goatman after that.
Okay.
So, one of the theories was that he was once a scientist at Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, and he was experimenting on goats. And something went wrong. And he became half man, half goat.
I mean,
and attacks cars outside of Beltsville, Maryland.
I mean, listen, everybody always knows that there's a mad agriculturalist.
The mad farm scientist.
Yes.
Are you saying you never heard of these men, Ben?
I mean, I think if you look at corn long enough, you'll eventually lose your mind.
Yeah. Well, Iowa's doing okay. I mean,
no, Iowa's not doing okay. Just ask about it.
All right, what else you got?
Oh, and so the other origin story here is that he's just a hermit that lives in the woods, and he
that
walks
one's
up
not
and
as
down this
fun.
road. It wasn't.
Don't
that
write
fun,
that
was
one
it?
down
I know.
next time.
So
that
is
one's
he
no
still
fun.
a goat man in that one?
Yeah, he's still considered the goat man.
So he's still just a goat man.
Hermit.
Just
Apparently.
Why?
But that's not
these
even
people
an
are,
origin. He just exists.
I do
yeah,
have
they're
one more
really
little
just
goat man
accepting
story.
that a half man, half goat can just exist.
Yeah,
Right, because there's like a circus freak, but
Yeah.
that just exists still.
It just happened.
They're just okay with that. That
Right.
they be in the thing.
All right, you got one more thing.
I
for
do.
us.
I have one. This one's a little tragic. I meant to push this one a little earlier, but this is just where we're at.
I guess on a high note. Why don't
Yeah.
Take us down.
Goatman's Bridge. It's Old Alton Bridge. It's an iron truss bridge in Texas, so we're going back to Texas.
Okay.
Connects Denton and Copper Canyon. So the legend has it that there was a man by the name of Oscar Washburn, and he was a black goat farmer at the time, and this was in the 1930s.
Uh-oh.
He was called a goat man by the locals because he was, herding goats and stuff, and he got quite a good reputation being dependable, successful businessman.
Okay.
And but there were locals there that did not like the idea of a black man at that time being successful.
Yeah.
And,
What year was that?
This was in the 1930s. So
definitely
actually,
not then,
specifically 1938 is when this event occurred. This is more of a haunting than a cryptid thing, but I found him and I want to put this in there. So Klan members that were apparently part of the local government there crossed the bridge, abducted him from his home, and brought him to the bridge to lynch him. When they threw him over the side, legend has it, they looked down and saw an empty noose. And they freaked out, and they went back and apparently killed his family. But ever since then, the bridge has been having really haunted sort of like stuff going on. And he looks like a goat man. Like if you cross the bridge without your headlights on, like I guess Klansmen were said to do at the time, to get to the house, then he will be waiting for you at the other side, the goat man. And then other such, like, feeling something touch you, grab you, whatever, things being thrown. So apparently the goat man also haunts this bridge as well as being a cryptid elsewhere.
Interesting.
And there you have it, the goatmen of America. There are more, but those are the highlights.
Got a little ghost story.
There is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That did weird me out.
And the consistencies between them, like the railroad,
Yes.
they have axes a lot. They like to jump on cars and shit. Yeah.
Yes. So
That's
that was
wild.
all those similarities and the association with trains, bridges,
Right.
and such. The only one that didn't fit all those was the one that turned out to be a prank.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only one I found that was kind of the outlier.
Creepy.
Yeah, super creepy.
Keep
So
an
there
eye
you
out
have
for
it.
goatmen, everybody.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a fucking
They're
threat.
bad news.
Stop
Jesus.
it.
All right.
I'm sorry I did that.
And I'll just say real
Like I
quick,
wasn't
since you brought the bummer story last, fuck
Yeah.
racist. I'll just add that in.
Well,
while
There
we're
we
at
go.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
True story.
There you go. Just in case anybody was in doubt, we think.
Yeah,
we think you're
Yeah,
a
we
racist.
think that's.
I
straight
get
up.
piece of
that
shit.
I get that we're in the. Yeah, just fuck
Throwing that out.
racist.
That's worth stating. All right. So anyway,
It should go without saying, but sometimes you guys say it.
yeah,
You gotta say it.
if you're racist and you listen to this podcast, go fuck yourself. Anyway, so yeah, we'll get off of the goatman thing after that terrible pun, and
A bad pun.
Ben is going to take. Jesus.
Don't you start.
All right, Ben, take us to fucking South America. Giant anacondas. We don't have John Voight or Ice Cube, but we do have enormous snakes. Ben is taking us to South America for tales of monstrous serpents.
All right. So reports of giant anacondas have been actually since pretty much people were going to South America. I found reports that were going from like 1906 all the way up to 1994.
Wow.
Damn.
I seen the movie Anaconda with Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez.
You know what? In hindsight, I hated that movie when it came out, but now I have a nostalgia for it.
Really?
Yeah. Although, why does the snake like moan? I don't understand. But
Black Snake
worry about
Moan. That's a good movie
that,
too.
that is a good movie, completely different. But so the most famous recording of a giant snake was actually from an explorer named Percy Fawcett. This was in 1907. Percy Fawcett was a pretty famous explorer. He was kind of one of those guys that went and did everything and went everywhere. Mm-hmm. He was born in Dublin, England. Yeah, he was just kind of one of those guys at those times that just went everywhere. And he reported shooting a 62-foot long snake.
Bloody. Because if I'm not mistaken, regular anacondas max out
So yeah,
at like 30 feet.
So the largest recorded and confirmed anaconda was 32 feet in length.
So this thing's
And that was
twice
considered to be like kind of a one-off.
right. That's like the jaws of anacondas. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Colonel Percy Fawcett, he claims to have shot a 62-foot long snake on the banks of the Rio Negro River. It actually, they were on the river itself when it actually surfaced to come out of the water, but it was so large it actually was right under the bow of their boat and bumped up their boat.
You know, I'm not typically scared of snakes, but Jesus.
Yeah. It's a fucking dragon.
So when this occurred, Percy pulled out his rifle and was getting ready to shoot it when the natives actually started freaking out and they were afraid that he would just injure it. And they said two things. One, that it is dangerous when injured. It turns around and attacks. And when under attack, it is actually defended by its mate.
Whoa.
Which
really?
I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought.
Right, that's not
There were
something you
two
hear
of
about
them, yeah.
snakes.
No.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even know that they had mates per se.
Right, no, they
Yeah.
usually do the ball thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. The fuck
But
ball.
but no, these guys, these natives claim that you're often attacked by the mate when you.
Interesting.
But Mr. Fawcett was actually quite a good shot and hit it in the spine and managed to kill it with a single shot. Wow! So that wasn't a problem.
Do you need like a high caliber bullet to kill a snake? Really?
42 caliber. So yeah, it's pretty sizable.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotta get that Nitro Express like
Yeah.
from the Aberdare story.
Exactly. Yep. Something big. So he hit it, and he actually got a picture of it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
But the picture did not make it.
Son of a bitch.
It was it was
boo.
destroyed.
When
But-
did this happen again?
It was in 1907.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. It can get destroyed then, I
Yep.
guess.
However,
accidentally.
what we have is a drawing of the photo.
Okay.
If that
Okay,
makes sense.
That's better.
And one of the things that Percy kind of noted about it that people found interesting was despite it being 62 feet in length, it was actually 12 inches in diameter max.
Jeez.
Really?
Oh, so it's a long, skinny,
I was curious about
like
that. Just a
comparatively,
foot.
yeah.
Yeah, but
That's still
that's
big
a
for
goddamn
snake.
giant snake.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Right,
bigger
right.
around than anyone's
But
leg.
but
that's for sure.
proportional, yeah. So like anacondas and pythons are, they would be proportionally bigger than that if they were that length.
Right.
Like normal ones.
So what we
anyway.
have here, so I'm going to quickly pass around the drawing of the photo.
Okay.
Drawing a photo.
Jesus. Oh my God. If that thing was real, that would be horrifying.
So yeah,
Holy cow, we have like 4 people standing around it just to kind of give us a size comparison.
Yeah.
And it's like, head is huge. Like even compared to the rest of its body. By
that thing could for sure eat a human. If that thing's real, it would be terrifying.
Oh yeah, that could definitely eat a person.
I don't want it. I don't want it to be this ain't real, right?
Jeez.
Like this is a cryptid, right? This is fake, I hope,
Not
right?
not confirmed.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
not
real.
confirmed.
Yeah. It's not confirmed as a real thing.
So
Bullshit. Go on.
Percy was ridiculed pretty heartily for this claim. However, several credible scientists came out and defended him, saying that they had been on expeditions for him and with him, and he was not one to give in to tell stories or to embellish on things. And he went to his grave claiming that was true.
Never once.
Never once.
Yeah.
I mean, it only takes one to get that big for the story to happen and someone sees it. You know? It's like, it only takes one.
So there was another sighting in 1948 that I thought was interesting. It was in Fort Tabananga.
I believe you.
South American name.
I believe that pronunciation.
Tabatinga. Tabatanga.
Tabatanga.
Whatever.
I like that. That should be a song.
This fort is on a river. The river is called like Oiapoc. Oiapoc. Oiapoc.
Oiapoc.
You know what?
Maybe.
I believe Ben looks at these names ahead of time, unlike somebody in this group.
I don't know who.
And
Michael
I
could be
believe these are
talking
just
about.
hard fucking names to try to get through right now.
Hey, the names I have problem with are hard.
But so it came out of the river and was reportedly trying to crawl its way inside of the base, the fort.
It's a bold big
when it
boy.
was shot by the soldiers camped there over 500 times.
Gee whiz.
Good Lord.
Before it finally succumbed, and they said that particular specimen was 115 feet long.
Oh my God.
How long is a semi?
Not that long.
Jeez.
Wow. You know what the scary thing about that is? I think a snake can strike up to half its body length away from it, right?
Oh my God.
So
Could you
that's
imagine
fucking 50 feet.
just a fucking snakehead sniping out of the woods and just nabbing someone.
Oh my God.
And I was thinking, don't snap back after that. You have to see it snap someone real quick, and it drags them back slowly, just screaming.
I don't even think I could bring myself to run. I would sit down and start crying. That's what I would do.
Tears? Just tears are happening. Huh?
Tears. Time for tears.
It's like, I know I'm next. So I can't outrun that.
I can't outrun that. I'm not going to.
Nope.
All right.
Another really famous case happened in 1959. A Belgian helicopter pilot named Remy van Lierde, Lierde.
Okay.
Sure.
Sounds right.
Anyway, he was flying over the section of the Congo jungle when he reportedly saw a snake that he estimated between 40 and 50 feet, and he actually claimed that it reared up as if it had intentions to strike the helicopter.
Whoa.
He actually did manage to get a photo that is still around today.
Okay.
However, it doesn't have any details to kind of gauge the size of the snake.
Oh, I
itself.
see what you mean. There's nothing to really size compare to.
There is not.
Yeah. No, that kind of ambiguity can definitely happen with photographs.
So not
right?
just South America. Apparently, Africa also has enormous snakes. Which, you know what, that fucking scans.
Yeah, that tracks.
We've told too many stories about Africa on this podcast, especially murder animals in Africa. For me to just
And it's surprising we don't go to like Australia for these animals.
So you'll see. So I'm going to show you guys the photo, and it looks fake.
Okay.
But I have found literally zero. This is a well-known photo, and I have found absolutely zero reports that claim the photo is fake, just that you cannot gauge the size of the snake in the photo.
So they're just talking about like you can't tell the size, but this is a real picture.
Pretty much is everything that I've seen.
Okay.
So they're probably just mostly like you don't need to debunk if it's real or fake. It's just like you don't know the size of it. It's probably small. Well, of course, you know, Ian. Ian, you remember when we had to get that snake out of my friend's house, and they sent that picture? The thing looked huge.
Yeah, yeah, it looked.
Wow, it's
like.
Yeah, I mean,
you
like
can't,
this could
you
be
can't
just
tell
like,
it's for sure huge, but I can see if it is that
I
big.
think, I think there's enough in that photo for you to reason.
It's like this could just be something under a microscope too, is the thing, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
For how? Yeah, it's kind of a grainy photo. It's it doesn't have great amount of detail to it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
1958.
Right.
Yeah, and there's just nothing near it that's like everybody knows the size.
Yeah.
Like the other one, the drawing of the picture had people in it. So
Yeah.
it's very clear
So
how big that snake was.
I
if
saw
it was
some
real.
people arguing that if you find the full size photo, which I didn't, but I definitely believe that there's a more. I saw it in like newspaper clippings and stuff, like actual articles, but I couldn't find a picture of the photo to kind of bring out. But they claim that in the in the top corner of the full-size photo, you can see termite mounds. Using the termite mounds, you can.
So that can give you a better idea.
They can estimate.
And termite mounds can get fucking huge.
Right.
Yeah,
So
how big do they get? I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you.
African termite mounds get pretty fucking
They get almost
big,
as tall as a person, I think.
Yeah, I think taller than a person. Yeah.
So some people are claiming that no, there actually is material in there that you can use to confirm the story. But again, once again, he's a guy that did not alter his story and right down to it attacking the helicopter.
Stuck to it.
Sure.
Yep. Wow.
So we'll go ahead and close this out with one more story. It is the story of the longest recorded anaconda. It was called the Lehman Dunn Expedition. It was in 1944. It was in Venezuela.
So this one is confirmed.
This is
It's
confirmed.
Not a cryptid. Okay.
This is not a cryptid. This is confirmed. And the thing, what you have to realize is that like anacondas at this time kind of went through like not a growth spurt, but a growth theory spurt. So like 4 years ago, they said like 20 feet was the max, right?
Right.
And then after that, it was 25 feet, and then it was 27 feet, and then it was like 30 feet. So it went through this really fast period where they're like, surely this is the max of the snake. And that turned out not to be true.
Now, just curiously, I know that what episode was he was talking about the size of the Gustav the crocodile?
Gustav the crocodile.
Because we was talking about like how they get bigger. Like a 1 foot could be 500 pounds.
It would.
You know? Does that kind of happen with snakes as well?
Well, it's a universal law of.
Yeah,
the
it's
square
true.
foot law. So
Yeah, it's true.
But I think there's something specific with crocodiles where they put on weight.
Yeah, they're just more
exponentially. Because
Because
with crocodiles, it's once they reach over a certain feet, then they start putting on weight per foot.
Right.
It's not through their.
Yeah, they actually get physically thicker.
Because I remember you took the time to.
I get you.
I remember you took the time to explain that with the Gustav story.
And I wonder if that's more of a reptilian thing.
Yeah.
So this guy was shot on a riverside of I didn't write down the river, but it was in Venezuela, and a lot of people suspect that the rivers is what gives them the ability to grow big because they're not once they reach a certain size they stick to the riverways because they're not hampered by their own weight.
Right. Oh shoot! Like how whales get so big too because they have the water to help them support their weight.
So they think that once they reach a certain size, they tend to just become almost completely aquatic.
Yeah, because they tell you that with because I used to have like a fish tank, and they told that with any of the fish I get, it's like depending on how big you get the tank, it depends how big this fish will get.
Right. Yeah. So some things, especially cold-blooded, they'll just grow till they can't, and anacondas are highly aquatic anyway.
Exactly. So anyway, they kind of caught sight of this thing, and as part of the expedition, they wanted to take it as a specimen. It was attacked and killed by a whole platoon of soldiers.
Oh, jeez.
They were definitely afraid of this thing. I'm going to use this term, and you'll understand why once I kind of explain it. They shot it into unconsciousness.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Shot it into dead. It's died. Go on though.
Okay,
but
so they used geological equipment to measure it and document it, and it came out to be 32.8 feet long.
Whoa.
They managed to drag it the rest of the way out of the river and decided to take a break for lunch before they weighed it.
Oh no!
And when they returned to the body, it was gone.
Oh no!
They actually determined through the sand tracks and the blood trails that it had slithered upriver or up the beach and into the river.
Wow! It was just playing possum until they left it alone.
And they were unable to recover the body.
Oh my!
So it was never weighed.
That's terrifying.
Way too much.
A whole platoon of soldiers.
That's the one we know is real.
That's one that exists.
That's the one we know.
So that thing could still be out there.
Yeah.
What year was this?
1944. Probably not.
It might have an offspring just as scary. I don't know.
How long anacondas live? Probably not that long.
And like I said, the latest report of a giant snake I found was in 1994.
Cool.
So
wow.
And I'm sure there's more recent ones if I kept diving.
Right.
But so yeah, there definitely there's some ones that would be considered. I think so. In my research, I think they said anything over 28 feet is considered to be a man killer. Like they will.
That's fair.
They are. Yeah. They will probably. And I say probably because we know for sure that men have been killed and eaten by snakes. We're just not sure how regular that is.
Right.
But they tend to treat anything over 28 feet as if it would seek out man as a regular food source.
Well, I mean, they need bigger things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, would they take down hippopotamuses and stuff? Is that?
No,
I don't think they could get.
You don't
Yeah.
Not the factually confirmed one.
Yeah. So that 115-foot bastard, maybe.
Maybe.
But I don't think it'd be able to eat it. Kill it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 right.
It could at least defend itself against it if it had to, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This one is one of the more believable ones for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, this doesn't have to be some fictional undiscovered species necessarily. It could just be that we haven't seen the biggest anaconda yet.
Right.
Honestly,
or python in Africa. Or
the
whatever.
3 that I gave you, the Percy Fawcett, the one at the fort, and then the helicopter pilot, I believe all 3 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all seem very.
Yeah, I have no
likely.
reason to not believe any
Right.
of the stories on this one.
Right.
really.
That's one of the most believable ones we've had, which
Yeah.
is horrifying. All
Wow.
right. So, giant anacondas.
Terrifying.
Rounding us out with our third story, and I think it's time to get to our fourth and final one. We're going to Loveland, Ohio. Let's do it.
Hi-yo.
Loveland Frog. Back to Ohio now, because we obviously have more than just a Grassman here. The town of Loveland is home to a haunted castle and a frogman. Yeah, frogman. And it's weirder than you think. All right, so Michael,
Yes.
I am interested to see what you have uncovered for us, because I'm very familiar with the Loveland Frog, but you sent us some pictures without context that I'm very curious about.
Yeah, he's been talking some shit on this.
Yeah.
It's just, it gets so ridiculous,
All right.
is the problem.
So we're going back to Ohio. We started in Ohio for the Grassman. Let's come back to Ohio for the fucking Frogman.
Right, the Frogman, aka the Loveland Frogman, aka Loveland Lizard, because it's just the Loveland Frog typically, but it's also
Right,
called
right.
Loveland Frogman, Loveland Lizard.
Okay.
It's a humanoid frog, textured, leathery skin, stands about 4 feet tall, and weighs less than 100 pounds. How they know this for sure, I'll never know, even reading through all things, but they do estimate between 50 to 60 pounds of this thing,
Right.
which I find more strange as we get into it a bit. It is said to leave a smell of alfalfa and almonds behind.
Oh, that sounds
So if you're-
Okay.
So if you're smelling that in an area and you don't notice where the source is, the Loveland Frog was probably there.
Okay.
All right.
Just hopping along.
I've never smelled alfalfa.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering that myself.
Definitely almonds. Okay, almonds.
Yeah.
But
Sure,
alfalfa.
Yeah, I know I have smelled alfalfa. I couldn't tell you what it smells like off the top of my head, but we had a guinea pig we used to feed alfalfa.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so then the first sighting of the Loveland Frog was in 1955. A man was driving at night and he sees three of them on the side of the road.
Okay, there's more than one. Gotcha.
Yes, he's three on the side of the road. And then one, he stops and he just kind of, of course you stop like, what the fuck are these fucking guys?
Right, yeah.
And one of them raises a wand.
A wand.
A wand and sprays sparks at him to run him off.
Oh my god.
Okay.
They're fucking wizards.
I love this. I love it. It is so fucking weird.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't know what I thought. I don't know shit about cryptids. I thought I knew this frog. I did not know this frog.
This one's a bizarre.
That man runs off from the sparky wand to go get authorities and comes back. Of course, no trace of anything.
Right, yeah.
And this is where the smell of the alfalfa and almonds comes from, that particular
God.
story. Because that's what they said was in the area for some reason.
You shall not.
Now, sorry. Now, sorry to break it to you. That's the only mention of wands and sparks.
Wow.
Damn it. Okay. Well, I'm glad we had it. That was more than I expected.
Like they said earlier, though, when I was bringing it, I was like, it only happened in one story. It's like, that's enough for it to be a possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
That
Yeah.
one story is enough for it just to be like.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get to the more prominent
Cool.
sightings that made it more popular.
Okay.
So the second sighting was in 1972 at 1 a.m. on March 3rd. Officer Ray Shockey was. I love his it's Shockey. Shockey was shocked, huh?
I'm sure he probably fucking was.
Yeah. He was driving towards Loveland via Riverside Road. He thought he saw a dog on the side of the road until it stood up.
Oh.
Its eyes lit up by the lights and glared at him. Looked at him for an instant, and then he watched it leap over the guardrail. Just run. He just pops up, like, oh, fuck. Runs, jumps over the guardrail.
Doing.
He watches it go down the embankment into the Little Miami River.
It was running away from the cops, too.
So,
Even it's like, I got weed.
And so that was the second sighting.
All right.
Okay.
So
Officer
Shockey.
Officer Ray Shockey. He goes back to the police station, and he returns to the site with Officer Mark Matthews to look for evidence, because he wasn't going to chase that thing by himself, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Like, I need backup for this fucking thing.
Whatever the fuck that was.
That's like, it's only 4 feet tall. Chase it, man.
Right, yeah.
No.
That's
Nope.
my thing. Is like all these people that's like, well, it could be somebody in a suit, and that's why I didn't shoot. I'm like, shoot them. It's there. It's on them.
Jesus.
So he comes back with Mark Matthews to look for evidence, and all they found was some small scrape marks leading down the hill to the river. That's all they found. So definitely something.
Right.
So the third sighting comes about 2 weeks later, March 17th. It was St. Patrick's Day. Matthews had a similar encounter. He thought there was a dead animal on the road, so he stopped to, remove it off the road, being a good officer that he was.
Of course.
All right.
When he opened his door, the sound of the creaking door startled the creature. It popped up into like a football stance, like football player position. So it popped him to a crouch position.
You want to go, bro?
And it's just,
Nah, man, I'm cool.
And it's just staring at him, like it just looking at
That's
him.
what I say. It's like, come at me. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Pretty-
Let's do this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Frog hop your ass, bro.
And he watches it hobble over to the guardrail and lifts one leg over the guardrail, just staring at him the whole time.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
just keeping its eye on Matthews.
Like, you gonna fuck with me? I'll leave. All right. Don't
And-
fuck with me.
But, then Officer Matthews, being the good cop that he is, he's like, I'm going to shoot it.
There you go.
I'd have shot it the minute it's like, I'm going to throw my leg over this guardrail. Pick
Yeah.
up. It's got a gun. Ow.
Yeah, it was at this time he decided to try to shoot the Loveland Frog, or this creature rather,
Yeah.
and then it was fail. He missed. It's only 4 feet tall. It's a small target.
Or it waved its wand and deflected the bullet. Fuck.
Yeah.
No mention of a wand.
Because it completely wiped his mind. It frogged him.
It frogged him.
Now, he did mention, in his encounter versus Shockey, he did say, it stood more upright than Shockey did explain it.
Well, yeah, he was ready to play football.
Yeah.
I have it later in my notes, but I think I will go ahead and show you the picture now. That Shockey's sister, I couldn't find anything information on her, but she did draw a sketch of his what he described it as.
Right.
Okay.
So I will bring up that picture real quick. Give me one moment.
Boy, look how
Sure.
sparkly Michael's phone is. in
It
the
is
firelight.
sparkly, and I'm sure well organized.
It is well organized. Thank you.
You kind of took him back with that.
I don't appreciate you complimenting and insulting me all at the same time. So this was taken short. I don't know how long after, but it just said shortly after the incident. Shockey's sister,
Michael's like, look upon my. Oh my God.
Oh,
she
wow.
drew this.
So there's almost dinosaur-like ridges going along its back, and that face just looks real
It's
fucked
very,
up.
very lizardy, froggy.
It is.
Yeah.
What is going on with its
And
face?
at the time, back in '72, just keep in mind that both these men agreed this is what it basically looked like.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on in the 70s? All of these
Seriously.
stories have
Drugs.
had something in the 70s.
Drugs.
Lots of drugs.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Fair point.
Now, if you
Wow,
want,
I can't even describe that face to the listeners.
and
Let's
if you
look
want,
that up.
and if you want to consider a fourth sighting, a sighting of a local farmer during the same month, that same March. He reported seeing a frog-like or lizard-like creature around during that time as well. He didn't give much account or anything. He just said, "Yeah, I seen one around."
The way,
Yeah,
That's
very
basically
Ohio
all I
way
can-
of
That's
it.
a fucking farmer.
well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the farmer who was like, look, yeah, frog, whatever. I got this half-goat fucking freak in my barn I need to take care of.
Like,
Yeah,
what the
there's a
fuck ever
frog man
frog,
around
dude?
here, too. Who gives a
He's like,
shit?
yeah, and you know what? Sometimes they actually three-way with this goddamn hairy thing that's coming out of the woods.
Oh, no, cryptid orgy.
Oh,
So,
that sounds
and the
like
te-
a lot of hairballs.
It was a monster mash.
Monster mash.
Stop it. Ben, we don't have to tell you to stop it too often, but when we do.
Every now and again.
All right, we'll refocus.
Oh, we're good on time. No worries, Ian. So the town was obviously reportedly hard on these witnesses of the Loveland Frog. A 1985 newspaper quoted a businessman. He wanted to stay unidentified. He says those two officers took a lot of flack about the sighting back then. People made fun of them.
Yeah, I bet they fucking did.
and the city. So But, we can kind of see how that went. I mean, it's like,
sure,
kind of like Mothman, just...
Yeah, Loveland has, to my knowledge, embraced the frog now.
Oh, yeah, they're full embracement.
Well,
now.
sure, yeah, they're probably making some money off of that merch.
Yeah.
But you know what? You have to know as an officer that if you come forward with this,
right,
you're gonna get lit up.
That to me does lend a lot of credibility because it's like that's
it would have to, even no matter how skeptical you are, you would have to at least be like, listen, these guys saw something.
No, I kind of glossed over, but that newspaper part was in 1985, and that happened back in 72. So there's people keep coming back and asking about this Loveland Frog for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And so in 1999, local media interviews Matthews yet again, and he's so tired of just answering questions about the frogman,
Right.
He now in 99 claims it was a tailless iguana that they did. Him and Shockey did find later and shoot and kill. Claimed it was a tailless iguana.
Tailless iguana.
Oh, so the tailless iguana stood up on its hind legs and stepped over a guardrail.
So, now here's just for reference. Certain types of iguanas can grow up to 6.5 feet long.
Oh my God.
That's including the tail, and the tail's about 2 feet of that.
Right.
So that would bring you about down to the height.
But wait.
And
they're saying
I'm getting
Okay,
they are capable of standing up on 2 legs. So iguanas are capable.
Okay.
Especially a tailless one. But they do typically weigh about 15 pounds ish. Unless it is a blue iguana that can weigh around 30 pounds. So that's getting a little closer to your 50, 60 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So it's in the realm of like, I guess, if that's what you really want to say.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess I could see where that might actually be a possibility, but I don't buy it.
But you can't always tell the weight of looking at something either.
Right.
So
but I still can't. Why would you take faces full of shit
yeah.
for years?
Yeah.
Right.
When it was just an iguana that you plugged earlier and put to bed.
Yeah, and at the time in 72, they agreed that picture that Shockey's sister drew was like this. Yeah, that's what it looked like. That's
Which
not
looks nothing like an iguana.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at it again.
I mean, it kind of does, but that
But-
face
but
is
I mean,
way
the legs,
different.
If they looked at that sketch and were like, that is accurate, that does not look like an iguana.
No.
Like
It's
it might be an
iguana-ish, but
iguana
it's not
with
an
like
And it
its
was-
face smashed in by a hammer. That face. Is
And
real
then my
weird.
only defense past that is like it was 1 a.m. at night. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But then why would you not come forward once you had shot the tailless iguana to get people to stop making fun of you?
With the tailless iguana.
With the tailless, like that, like why would you not do that? Why would you sit there and take all of that abuse?
Right. Yeah, they really just, for whatever reason. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Sure.
So now there is what I consider the 4th sighting and a question mark 5th sighting. The 5th sighting is the most fun. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I'm going sort of chronologically here as I've been telling the story. So I do want to mention something first. There was in 2014 a musical made about the Frogman. If you had, I'd like to make you guys make up things. So if you had to guess the name of this musical,
Okay.
go ahead, Eric. You first.
Okay.
We'll go around.
Okay. If I were to the Frogman, I would go with
And it's a musical.
a Ribbit in the Moonlight.
Oof. How about you, Ian?
The frogman cometh.
Oof. Okay. What do you got, Ben? Ben's like, don't. I don't.
Kermit on ice.
Fucking musical.
It was called
Ribbit Me Not.
It was called Hot Damn, It's the Loveland Frog.
Jesus.
No.
That is what it was
God
called.
damn it.
Wow.
Our state.
I love it.
Hot damn.
Listen, nobody got pissed off when they were like snakes on a plane.
Yeah,
That's true.
That is truth in advertising, my friends. You know exactly what you're getting when you go to see that.
Yeah, true. I mean,
Boy, do ya.
I wonder what this
Yes, you
movie's
do.
about. I bet it's snakes on a plane.
Whoa.
Yes, exactly.
So now the 4th sighting happened in 2016, around the beginning of August or end of July.
Okay.
Sam Jacobs, along with his girlfriend, seen the fabled frog near Lake Isabella. This is about 5 miles from Loveland, closer to Cincinnati.
Okay.
There is a video. It's really dark, but it's easily found on YouTube. I'll show you guys the video right now. It's pretty short. It's like 11 seconds.
11 seconds.
Okay.
Let me get it up here and orientate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Is this going to creep me out?
No, I mean, this is the video. It's a short video. You mostly see the eyes glowing. and
Oh, those eyes are it?
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like down in the river.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh.
Actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
it's kinda
It's like
So-
moving around. But yeah, you pretty much can just see the glowing eyes.
Now there is a picture that was taken from that video.
Okay.
And it was significantly brightened up.
All right.
And this is like a screenshot from the video that they brightened up.
Oh, wow.
If you search Loveland Frog now, this is like the picture. It comes up very often.
Cool.
So
and that was in 2016?
Yes.
This is grainy, but it looks like a little alien popping up out of the water.
It looks like a little
and the reflective eyes on it.
Then there is a theory like what this is. They think it correlates to the 5th sighting.
Okay.
It's the website I found, because it was like linked over to this website. It's like, this was later revealed that it was this. And then I followed the link. It's like where they linked didn't quite share that sentiment. It was just like, these are 2 separate accounts. But the 5th sighting could explain this sighting.
Okay.
Now, let me make sure I am where I am.
Mm-hmm. Look upon his notes in despair.
In 2016, I want you to guess what they were doing out there when they see the Loveland Frog.
What they were doing out there?
Yeah, they were out there smacking ugly pieces.
Monster
or
mash.
drinking.
2016. They were playing Pokemon Go. So that's why that kid captured the video, because he's like, no, a real frogman, not on the game.
Not on the game. This is for real.
Can you imagine seeing that and you're like, but I didn't catch anything.
I'm kind of pissed that the Mewtwo got away, but whatever.
Yeah. No, the kid was terrified. Just a high school kid with his girlfriend, and he swore in his grandmother's grave that it was real. Like, he swear.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay, bud, relax.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
I didn't like my grandmother, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. This got dark. Now, this leads to the question mark 5th sighting.
Okay.
Because people believe it's the same creature involved with the 2016. Now, we're going to go to November 2020.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know why the more recent ones freak me out more.
Because you always
there
like
it
to
is.
think of this stuff as happening in the past.
Yes.
Hold on. You'll be fine.
Okay.
There's Jacob Carrington, who's like reporting / investigating the Loveland Frog a little bit. I couldn't quite figure out if he wrote like for Moeller High School or if he was just someone I couldn't quite figure out who Jacob Carrington was exactly. Okay. But he wrote the article. Okay. And I found 2 other articles of his. He does some pretty legit stuff.
Okay.
Jacob received an email from who we'll call Dave, because he received the email and that guy, he didn't want to reveal that guy's name in the email.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That was letting him know of a tunnel that the Loveland Frog would hang out. Okay. So he goes to the coordinates for the tunnel, and sure enough, he gets an encounter with Frogman.
No.
There's 2 pictures I'll show you, because he has the first picture.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
In the tunnel. And I'll let you... we'll move on to this is the first one in the tunnel.
Okay, that's a little creepy.
Where?
Oh, I see the head.
Is that the head? Up there? It looks like it's towards the top of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That looks fake as fuck.
It kind of does. It's like this really big mouth.
And now he was like the same thing. He was like, hold on, let me get closer, which leads to our second picture that he got while he was there.
Oh my God, it's literally a dude in a frog outfit. He's got his hands up like, no, don't take a picture of me.
Now,
why is he there? Why is he there?
Let's learn, shall we?
Oh my God, what's happening?
You can sit down.
No, it's a freaking frog mascot.
So,
it's a dude.
So after that initial encounter, he runs away thinking like, oh God, crazy man, he might have a gun. I'm leaving.
Right, sure.
Comes the dude searches him out somehow, whatever. Turns out it was a Moeller High School student. Moeller High School is about 7 miles away from Loveland, still closer to Cincinnati.
What the fuck?
Student who we'll call Jim, because Jim didn't want to be identified.
I bet not.
Yep.
Oh, he was a furry, wasn't he?
Jim,
Scaly.
You kind of wish he was a furry.
Okay.
Jim agreed to have a little sit-down interview with our with Jacob here.
Okay.
And now I'm going to
quote sexual.
I am going to quote Jim from this interview he did.
Okay.
So this is word for word what he said. I have been obsessed with the Loveland Frog since I was a little boy. He's like my idol.
Uh-oh.
I dress up as him and go to the tunnel and hop around a few times a week.
Okay.
I sometimes make little chocolate-shaped as flies, and I'll eat them while I hop around.
Oh.
And no, I don't think it's weird.
Okay. Okay.
Just made sure to throw that in on the end there.
Now, Jim does admit that he is not the Loveland Frogman.
Okay.
He just wanted to cosplay him, and now I will quote him for his reasoning for wanting to cosplay him.
Okay.
I want to honor his legacy. Hopefully one day he will appear again, and I'll be able to meet him and become his first devoted disciple.
Oh, Jim.
Oh, Jim.
I'll now show you a couple pictures that we got of Jim from that interview.
Okay.
Here's Jim.
He's in the fucking frog
He's
suit.
in the fucking
He's
frog
in the
costume.
frog
Okay.
suit.
Yeah, there he is. He's frolicking in
Hiding
the bushes.
In his frog suit.
Yeah, but that still doesn't. That does not explain the sighting in the water.
Well, people thought that like it was him in the water is what they were thinking because it was in the same area.
Those eyes would not reflect
Because
that.
I don't think those.
No,
I don't think
weren't-
they're linked.
I mean,
no.
even if they did, they weren't the same size as.
Yeah, because someone did just
yeah.
dismiss it like that sighting was later identified as a Mahler High School student. I was like, let me go read about that. I don't think they're linked.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, I personally don't. After reading all the things involved,
No.
I don't think they're linked.
And looking at the photo of the one in the water, you can tell that's very different from that frog head
right.
costume.
Unless he's got like an aquatic suit that he.
Which is, and this is just like a brightened as hell screenshot
Right.
from that video.
Those eyes are very
Right,
close
right.
together.
Yep.
As opposed to
But boy, do I love Jim. God.
Jesus
the mouth
Christ.
isn't open.
Mouth or big
Yeah,
nose.
yeah.
That's
The
so
mouth is
fucking
extremely
great.
apparent on Jim's costume there.
And that is the
Jim.
story of the Loveland Frog from 1955 to 2020 , fellas.
Yep.
Good Lord.
All right.
I told you,
Okay.
I was letting you know, it's like, it gets pretty weird.
When you sent those pictures and were like, these are part of my story, I was like, Jesus Christ, what are we getting ourselves into? Fuck. Jim, if you're listening to this, you're my hero, dude.
That's commitment right there.
he just
Get
wants
goddamn help.
he just wants to be the first devoted disciple to Frogman when he returns.
That's
He's gonna eat you, you dumb motherfucker.
This 4 feet tall thing, I don't think
Yes.
so.
He's got a whole family probably that is just waiting to dine on terrestrial.
So I'm hoping I hope my Loveland Frog presentation didn't disappoint. At least.
It did not.
It went from wands to a guy in a suit.
Right, yeah. All right. So there's no better time. Our fire's dying a little bit. Quiet hours are coming up. I think it's time we get to our not our new segment, our next segment. This segment's been here since the first episode, guys. It's what's the weirdest shit you've heard all day? So, we have heard 4 cryptid tales, some with a little supernatural twist. One of them with a twist that I did not fucking see coming.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna start with Ben, and we'll go around the circle from there. Ben, what is the weirdest shit you've heard all day?
Yeah.
Jim.
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 Jim is an odd guy.
Odd fellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim's the weirdest shit I've heard all day.
Yep.
I want to be his disciple.
You want to be Jim's disciple.
Jim. All right, Eric.
Jim needs some nice solid fun.
What is it, Eric?
Okay.
Oh, listen. There's a frog peeping right there.
We can hear a frog right now.
He's like, leave Jim alone.
Shut
It's
up,
a sign from the
Jim.
Frogman.
Jim,
you know
go
what?
home.
Maybe I should. Maybe we should devote ourselves to the Frogman.
Maybe we should.
That's
But
a
first, tell
sign.
us what the
I'm
weirdest
devoted
shit.
to the basilisk.
It's-
I'm sorry.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely the Jim. Yeah.
Jim.
Wanting to dress up and be like,
I knew it.
dear Lord, and it's that to me is super weird. Now, if I had to pick a weird cryptid, I think the weirdest one would probably be like.
It would still be the Loveland Frog.
It would
with
still be the
wand.
Loveland Frog because of the wand.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
Spreads
yeah.
out. Michael's got the weirdest shit I've heard all day. Ben's got the scariest one though.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so far I'm being pretty consistent with the stories. I tend to get the weird one of the episodes a lot.
You
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You do.
Well,
I
speaking
don't-
of which, Michael, what about you? What's the weirdest shit you've heard all day? Yeah, go ahead and pick your own.
Well, I just, it can't be the Grassman because that's just a hairy, smelly Ohioan.
Fair hit.
I'm sure there's an AC/DC tattoo on it somewhere.
Yes.
What was yours again, Eric?
Mine was the goat.
The goat man. I mean, that one just got sad at the end. So
I'm sorry, I blew it with my story order. How do I always end up with lists? That one wasn't even supposed to be a list, and I listed it.
Hey man,
it's how you organize your notes.
I guess.
And then the snakes are just terrifying because that could possibly be real.
Right.
Yes,
Those are
that
the
one
ones
is
that
definitely the scariest to me.
those,
is the snakes.
to me, those have the best chance of actually being real.
Yeah, and the Loveland Frog, it is like one of the more unique cryptids for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Jim is the weirdest shit I've heard all day.
Yep.
I know I'm the one researching, but I was like, God damn it, everyone's gonna love this.
I am so happy you brought that to my attention, though.
I think Jim's onto something here, and I'll tell you why. I've been
Stop
working
it.
on a theory.
Don't defend him.
I've been working on a theory here.
Oh, I
we've
don't
got
like it.
frog wizards, and they've been turning people into goatmen and apemen. Ben's threatening me with he's
With a kukri,
threatening me with silently with a kukri.
All right.
Please send help.
So, guys, this has been our Creepy Cryptids special for Cultober. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're at Cult Talk Net, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, different shit like that.
At Cult Talk Net.
At Cult Talk Net.
Join the talk. Join the talk.
Join the talk.
Is our fucking slogan, I guess. Every Monday, we got Cult of Campbell. Every Friday on our YouTube, we're talking about cult movies, so make sure you tune in for that. And there is a new episode of Weird Shit every single Wednesday instead of every other Wednesday. So make sure you come back next week.
Always
we're going to be talking about horror movies that fooled the world into thinking they were real. That's our next one. And then for Halloween, we're talking about haunted shit. So that's going to be fun. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. We are going to do some hiking and see if we see the Grassman. I've been Ian.
I've been Ben.
I've been Eric.
I've been Michael. God bless Jim.
Oh, God bless you, Jim.
Frogman bless Jim.
Frogman.
Frogman.
Jim, you're going to be the perfect disciple, Jim. You're going to be my own frogman. Come to my tunnel, Jim.
Oh, God, please end this.
Ian, tell him to stay weird. Move on.
Come on, say the
Fucking
words.
end it.
Say the words.
Say the words again.
Say it. Stay weird.